Hello and welcome to another weekly live stream. Tonight we're going to be messing with the path following stuff, the elastic path following. We made a lot of progress last time, but we didn't actually get to the elastic part of the path following. That's what we'll be starting with tonight. And so before we get too farther, let me go ahead and pull over here. And we'll thank the patrons who are scrolling up over the screen there. And we will point out that the latest release is in the upper left corner there. And that's, I think, it. And the password's Dragon. So if you go to that page, I also revamped the main page just a little bit to clarify that the old version is there, and that there's a new version that you can get by hitting blue sky and following my linked or my pinned post there, and that would take you to this page, which lets you download. And we went over that last week, so I won't spend too much time on that this week. Okay, let's move this down here and move this out of the way completely. Ooh, not anything to show with Mythruna. I spent some time fixing some server bugs over the weekend, because when I noticed when players were logging out, sometimes I'd get streaming messages about entities that were still active and couldn't find their body positions and stuff like that. And it turned out the fixes that I did for the encounter systems, there was some leaking with the encounter. They were leaving birds and butterflies around. Those were fixed a long time ago, but the server still had old data from the leaked encounters, and so I had to add a cleanup script to clean up all the old butterflies and birds. And then there was another issue where butterflies specifically, for whatever reason, they go idle. Like when a player leaves their immediate zone, they go like into an inactive mode, and they've but for whatever reason, because they're just a little sphere, the physics engine would never put them to sleep, and so I fixed that too. And so now the server's humming along, so that's all good stuff. Yeah, so these are the things I've gotten done so far. I wasn't able to work on Mythruna at all this week, unfortunately, other than the weekend. And most of that was spent, debugging stuff. And some of these are sort of finished. I've just not completed them yet. So where are we? I did work a little bit on this today, and we're ready to kind of just start with the elastic part of path following. Looks like we've got 5 viewers tonight. That's awesome. Unless YouTube is lying to me. Okay, so although they recently revamped the live stream page, I noticed they've added a few more options and stuff. So I'm willing to bet that maybe they're more accurate now. Anyway, so as before, if I create a mob, stick her on the ground, and she's got her little probe there, and last time we worked on the pathfinding, the probe walking, so that when she's just walking normal, she avoids obstacles, and that turned out to work way better than expected in the end, although it was quite a bit of drama to get there. Sounds like my decoration spam helped. Which was the decoration spam? Oh, like in your world? Oh, maybe. In the world? Maybe. So if we set a path to go somewhere, right? I wish I fixed. Yeah, for some reason it sometimes puts the path destination inside the floor. So we can have a path. And so what's new now is, since last week, I implemented that it will show us where we are closest on the path, but it'll also show us a little bit ahead in time, because that's how we're going to work on sort of the springiness of the path following. Another thing I added was the ability to just warp the player to wherever, because it makes it easier to test things. So like, she's standing here. This is the closest point on the path, and this is half a second ahead, or half a meter ahead rather, depends on how fast she's going. And so with these primitives, we ought to be able to say we ought to be able to do some things. Make her not so rigidly follow from point to point to point, for example. So if the path is here and she happens to be here, we know she should head about here. And we can, based on her speed, potentially move this further ahead. So she would try to head towards this orb, right? Obviously, the orb wouldn't appear in the game. That's just a marker to show us, the theoretical position she should head to. The faster she's going, we could move it up. If she gets stuck, we could move it back. If we decide that we want it to be springy, we could move it ahead based on an idealized time. So essentially, we treat it kind of like a spring. That's where the elastic part comes from, right? We know that if she's walking this path and she's walking at a certain speed, this position should move down the path at a certain speed. And so we could just let that move down the path at a certain speed as her target, regardless of where she is. We keep track of where she is on here, and only if this distance gets too long do we sort of shorten this. So it's kind of like it's kind of pulling her along the path, but it allows her to do things like walk around stuff. Because one of the issues is now, like if I go to place another mob right in here in her way, of course that's going to be all jittery. Let's get rid of that one and place it a little bit different. So I place a mob right here, kind of in her way, and I try to make her walk that path in the rigid way we were doing before, where she goes here and she walks. Okay, see, this is the other thing that we'll avoid, because she'll never actually have to circle around a particular waypoint. So she gets here and she can't actually go around this. They get stuck. So there's no elasticity. She has to walk on the path or she's going to go crazy. Now, in reality, if a NPC was blocking the door, she wouldn't be able to walk through there. But you kind of get my point. If the NPC was just sort of in the way, they end up having to push each other out of the way and stuff, and she should be able to walk around that particular thing. So anyway, we've got the primitives we need. Now we need to do something with them. Yeah, she's sliding. She's got no input. Let's just warp her here. Oh, I've still got the other one selected. Okay, let's warp her here. Yeah. There she goes. Okay. So if we warp her back here, yeah, she'll show us, yeah. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to play with fixing this so it's not the rigid path following, that it's basically doing a sort of a steer towards this orb kind of thing, using the steering primitives we put together before. We're going to add a new steering primitive that, given a path and a desired position on that path, distance along the path, we'll try to walk there. And other things we can take into consideration is like the direction of the path. So right now we know she's totally not facing in the right direction. So we could make her want to steer in the direction of the path, even if, so like this is her target, but we know that this particular path segment she's on is pointing this way, and so we could factor that in her steering and make her steer a little more right, because we know that whenever she does catch up to the path, she's going to want to be pointing in this direction. Anyway, this is sort of the cutting edge stuff. I don't know that a lot of games do this, but because of the dynamic nature of the Mythruna world and the fact that players could be like placing things all over and typical things that a lot of games have to deal with too, with just standard mobs walking around and stuff, we're kind of exploring some possibilities here. Because even when we get to the point where blocks placed down may negate a particular path and we have to recalculate it, I'd like the NPCs to still be able to kind of do smart things in the meantime. The probe level avoidance of obstacles, being one of those key foundation elements, and then being able to sort of loosely follow a path being another one. It feels like I'm starting to lose my voice, which is not a great thing at the beginning of a live stream. Anyway, so we've got our primitives, which I made into their own file, where we can have, a path segment which has the start and the end and direction and length. and then a walk path, which is a list of those segments. And then from there, we can, sort of calculate, given our current position, what is the length down the path that we are. So when she's standing here, for example, we figure out from the start of the path, what's the distance traveled to get to this particular location. Then we can add, some amount to that. And then there's the other defined path projection, which given that length will tell us the point. And so what I've done is in the in this path markers stuff, I calculate the nearest path location. Or here I calculate the so this is the calculating the nearest path location, which is basically the projection turned into a point. But I also calculate the path projection, which is sort of that value of where she is, which is what this blue sphere is, and then I add 0.5 to it. So if I added 1 to it, for example, that would be a meter ahead. And if I recalculate her path, path to here, step, 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 step. Yep, so you can see how it's further ahead now. And so it's leading her more. If she were to walk this path, it kind of shows where she should be heading. The other interesting thing is if you start to think of paths as not where she is, but where that blue sphere is, that is a certain period in the future where we would like her to be. And so if you think of paths as not like where she is, but as a point in time, she's here now, she's going to be there in a certain period of time in the future, then even when the player can't see her, we could stop animating her, we could stop doing the true obstacle avoidance and stuff and put that character to sleep, but we still know over time where she should be on this path. And then when the player can see her again, we could just warp her to that location. So yes, it means that when the player's not looking, she can cheat a little bit because she's going to path through things that she might otherwise have to path around. But it's a good way to put AI to sleep and have them catch up. Because the other thing is if this was the end of a zone right here, and the player's far enough away that they're only seeing just up to the edge of this zone, we wouldn't see her, we wouldn't see her animations, we wouldn't see her pathing. But as soon as a certain period of time happens, she crosses that edge threshold, and then we would see her, and then we need to make her appear, and so on and so forth. So that's the other side of it. We have to make sure that we have to keep time coherent, in a sense, even when we're not doing all the detailed work of, man, my nose is really itchy tonight. I think allergies are starting to come. Excuse me. So let me think what we want to do first. Well, first let's do just the dumb path finding of wherever she is. We'll try to head to this whatever period ahead. So we'll create a steering system that says we want to steer this particular path so far ahead. Actually, we'll just make that the steering primitive, like a walk path steering primitive, and then we can adjust the algorithm in that primitive as we like. So we have like this arrive primitive. We're going to create a different one for follow path. And the only and actually we could put walk path and we want to know the look ahead. So how far? Yeah, my voice is definitely gonna. How far ahead to try to push her? Path equals path. Look ahead equals look ahead. So the only requirement for a steering primitive here is that it has this calculate steering method. And it's going to end up being similar looking to the arrive as far as how we steer, but I'm going to keep it separate. And so given the path, so this is sort of the parameters of the path, then we need to keep our current state. Or you know what, we can just calculate the state on the fly. If we wanted to do what I was talking about of having, based on time, the target move on its own regardless of where she is, then we would want to have some state that we can keep track of. But as it is, we can calculate the latest state every time based on her position. I don't know if that makes any sense. So what we want to do is calculate where she is. Where she is on the path. And that is what this calculate path projection method does. In Java, it will be a method. Oh, we're going to need the, yeah, we're going to need this. That's going to be very important. Yeah. Okay. So we want to calculate, based on the current body position, where she is on that path. Where's the closest point on that path? How far along that path is she based on the closest point on that path? And then from there we can say our target is, basically reproject that down some period ahead. In this case, we'll use that look ahead value, which eventually will be based on her speed or her desired speed, some combination of those. So we ought to be able to just cut and paste all of this then, because well, we don't want her to slow down, so that part will change. One thing I don't do is calculate the total path distance, and that's something we'll want as well. So yeah, I think it's okay to move this into here now. I was kind of playing with different things. And so then we can just do this. And then in here, stop length equals 0, just to make sure. And then length plus equals, well, we want the segment. Sorry, I meant to have all this done ahead of time. This is basically constructing all of the segments of the path, because we don't just keep a list of points anymore. We keep data about each one of these path segments. So the other nice thing about this is if I wanted to, I could optimize to turn this into one long path segment, and I wouldn't lose anything. Over the other version, it was nice to have all these different waypoints because it let her walk along that path regardless of what other things might be in the way. But now that we are implementing an elastic thing, she's automatically going to be looking ahead of wherever she is, and so I could turn this into one long path segment, which makes everything go faster. Anyway, length plus equals segment dot length, and so now our paths will have a length. Hopefully I didn't screw something up. So over here we know on path plus, that's the look ahead. So that's our target. We want to make sure that if on path is greater than or equal to the distance of the path. That's why I did that, the length of the path, and we're done basically. We can, yeah, we're done. We don't have to keep walking. So we know where our target is. We can steer there just like we were before. We don't care that we don't really care that the distance, that we've reached, you know, some kind of distance threshold. We've already figured that here, and we might be near the end of a segment, and we still want to keep going. Well, actually, the target should move ahead, and so on. So anyway, we don't need it. Target distance. Okay, so this is basically normalizing. That's fine in case we still want to. So this is where things will change. So before we did it like based on the target. When it was waypoint to waypoint, we did it based on the target that as we got closer we would start to slow down. But now we don't want to do that. So when it's an arrive, right, we know we want to stop at a specific location. So as we got closer to that location we would slow down. Now we don't want to do that, but as we get closer to the total path length, so if our on path is less than why 2 times the distance? Wait, let me reread this again. So if the target distance is less than this is that was a distance threshold, so that's like how close we can be, and I just kind of doubled it because we're still slowing down. So this is going to be if our target distance is less than so this is the part where we keep doing. Hey, what are we doing here? If the target distance is less than 2 times the distance. Yeah, so we're getting close, but that's not how we calculate how close we are anymore. So the target distance, if on path is greater than, like that's the projection. Let me make another path so we see kind of what I'm talking about. Uh-oh. Oh yeah, because I've screwed up code somewhere. Can I get property segments on null object? Do call path data 88. I don't understand. Let's check the earlier error. No such property segment for class walk path segments. Line 29. Right here, segment. No. Oh, segment. I've been making that mistake a lot lately. Alright, let's see if okay. Step. Okay. So what was I saying? Oh, so as this blue ball, as our dark blue ball gets closer to the end, we want to slow down. How close to the end? That's probably something we should parameterize. Look ahead. Or we can make it just basically if we're within the look ahead. Yeah, so if on path plus look ahead is greater than the total path length, right? If our blue ball, our light blue ball, would be beyond the end of the path, then we can start slowing down. And how far do we slow down? We slow down sort of how close we are to the end. So distance from end equals on path plus look ahead, or it's path.length minus on path plus look ahead. So basically where we project to be ending. No, our actually distance from the end is the distance from the end. It's the path length minus where we are on the path. Look ahead is just how we detect we should be slowing down, and that's what we're going to use as our scale. So we take the distance to the end from end. Actually, let's say to end. So the distance to the end over whatever our look ahead is, and we'll scale ourselves by that. So as we get closer to the end, this distance to end will be smaller, and so distance to end over look ahead starts to approach 0. You know, still 1 when we're actually look ahead. Anyway, so you get what I'm saying, hopefully. And if not, I don't think I'm going to be able to describe it with words. I'd have to get the whiteboard out. Okay, so that looks good. If we find where we create the arrive, clear arrive. What does that do? Oh, it clears out the steering entities, which is fine. We won't have any here. So we have an init arrive, which sets up the steering. I think we'll do a similar. Actually, this is going to be a path action. So instead of our existing walk waypoint, should we set up way down here? I think. Oh no, maybe it is on the other side. This is where we create the path. Okay, here's where we walk the path. So walk path, yeah. So we will change this. Actually, I'm gonna make a second one. We'll call the old one the old walk path, and we'll have a new one. So if the rigid body's null, we don't do anything. If we don't have a state, we don't do anything. If walk path equals null, no path, is that what I called it? Walk path, yep. And if main steering equals null, this allows us to walk the path over again. And so now we can set up main steering. I think it's main steering. Yep. And where do we... So yeah, so this is where we set up the arrive, right? And so instead of setting up arrive, we will set up follow path on the body, and we'll use the state walk path, and we will have it do, I think I kind of like the full meter ahead thing, so we'll try that. Okay, so we should have, is this old? Yeah, that's old. Okay, so let's say, yeah, so we have walk path and old walk path now. So path to here, step, step, step. Okay, here's a moment of truth. Walk path. Whoa, no. No, it's property driver. Okay, I've probably used agent instead of driver somewhere. 871. Yeah, agent. I really need to consolidate that. Alright, let's try again. Please try again. Step, step, step. Okay, good. Okay, here we go. She got to do it. Nope. Another failure. No signature method. Calculate path projection is applicable for arguments on line 115 or 116 or I don't know. Calculate path projection, location, and the walk path. What you talking about? Oh, it's because we're in a class. When we are in a class, we don't have access to these global bindings anymore. So I'm going to have to move. I tried not to put class methods on because recompiling the classes does weird things when we've got these cross dependencies and things with the reloading. Sometimes you end up with an old class and a new class. But, excuse me. Let us add some. I think I'm good. I don't think I'm going to need to. I think the algorithm is pretty solid at this point, so hopefully we won't have to iterate on it too much. Because then I'd have to potentially restart the application. So we can take out all these paths. And we can just do segments each. Okay, so segments each. I'm going to need to move that in. Segment start, segment that back. Okay. So then, what's the one I need? Calculate nearest segment location. And we'll need this. And it's going to need, no, that's all it needs. So this will be a internal method. Yes, we'll just name it the same. This is frustrating. Okay, so we have everything we need in there. Everything we need in there. Now we can do the other one. Just call this project. Public deck 3D project. Double distance. And we'll call it projection. To change one less thing that way. Okay, so we can get rid of that. We can get rid of that. So blah 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 blah. Uh-oh. $9.94. Oh, Oh, did I already copy both of them? Yeah, that's what I did. So, yeah. Bit early today. Hi. You're early or I'm early? We're in daylight savings time here now, so everything's an hour earlier, right? We moved time forward. We moved the clocks forward, so it's actually earlier for everyone else when I say it's 9 o'clock. GMT minus 4 instead of GMT minus 5. Okay, so did this compile? Yeah, okay. It compiled. And so here, that's called it, find projection. Yep, so this would be path.find projection. This is better code-wise anyway, and then path project. Is that what I called it? Yeah. Okay. Alright. Now let's try this again. Path to here. Nope. Path to here. Nope. Path to here. There we go. Step, step, step. Let's try it again. Walk path. Is it going to work? Yay! Oh, wow, she's going fast. That's awesome. Yeah, because she's walking so much farther ahead now. So it looks farther, so she speeds up. Whereas before, she was kind of always near the end of where she was trying to get to. Oh, actually, we were doing like just straight. Yeah, so now, cool. Okay, so now I want to play with it. So let's see how much better she does with weird things. Path to here. Step, step, step. I think she'll go around, and sometimes she tries to go over the corner of these steps. Oh, she went around this way. I actually didn't want her to, but let's do it anyway. Walk path. Like she just turned around and she started heading down the path. She didn't have to go back to the beginning. Oh, that's sweet. And I think if we put stuff in her way, if I hit walk again, she should just walk again from the beginning. Okay, she's facing the wrong direction. So she's trying to get over here. There she goes. So see, she found her way back to the path. She should go around this person, kind of. Yep. Nice. Nice. Okay, so what happens if I path to here? Step, step. Should go around this way this time. But last time, yeah, so the path tries to go kind of up over this hump here. She won't walk over steps right now. So we should be able to just walk path and see if she elastics around the corner there. Yeah, kind of. The influence of the... I get it. Oh, because her probe is above that step. Right. We can't see it from here. But probe should be above. I'm not sure that is actually accurate. Yeah, so like the thing we're missing is she doesn't do the walk animation while she's walking. Can I put that in real quick? Because that would change the shape of her body and we could start walking through these paths again. So, yeah, we got that working. The sort of the less experimental part. Let me think. What do I have to do to make her animate? When in doubt, look at the original code, right? So agent driver, it calls a rig animator that does the actual work, and it has an anim pump. And I think that I already have an anim pump because she goes through her idle animations. Right, she's... Let's delete this one. Oh, I deleted the wrong one. That's interesting. Yeah, okay. Alright. I think if I clear path, clean path, yeah, okay. So we got a new one. So you can see she's going through her idle animation. I think I already have what I need to set up a jog at least. Or a walk. Man, my nose is really itchy. So where do I think... Or did I do this in... Maybe she does have a pump, but it's built into the... Let's see. So we have character driver, and character driver's got the anim pump. Okay. And it is constantly updating. So I think if I just set the character animation, current action, anim pump time, rig update. Yeah, so I think if I just set the anim pump to a different action, it won't necessarily be the right speed, but let me just check. I think it's here, anim pump. Oh, I can set the speed. Yeah. So just thinking while I look here. This is on the body. If we are walking, update body, we should know our actual velocity. Yes. And so if we calculate our speed, actual speed is going to be actual velocity. Let's wait. Double actual speed. And then what we'll do is yeah, I just lost my set current action that I had in the clipboard. So it's the actual velocity at length divided by step. Because the actual velocity that we're calculating is within a single step size, which is, 60th of a second or whatever. If we want to know what her actual speed is in like meters per second, we've got to divide that by step. So it projects it out to a full second. And we don't do that. Okay, and so then character, what do I call it, driver, anim pump, set, if actual speed is greater than 0, else, and I'm going to have to shut the application down, I think, because character driver is constantly setting this. No, it's not. It's smarter than that. So we want this. Excuse me. Excuse me again. Okay. So I know this isn't really what we came here for, but set current action walk, comma actual speed. Now there's going to be some multiplier. Actual speed is not right because she's going to slip all over the floor. Okay, let's see. Dope. Actual velocity for class. It's state dot actual velocity. Alrighty. So this should work whatever we do. Like if we just say arrive here. Yeah, see, she's fucking yeah, let's first of all, that's crazy. That is wow. Okay. So let's log the speed. Alrighty. We'll warp. Nope, we don't want to warp. Well, we will warp anyway. Arrive here. It's like Scooby-Doo. Oh yeah, look at this. Speed is totally 100% incorrect. I already no. Yeah, I already I already took the. I already divided by step. That's why. Oh wow. Okay. Wow. Okay. That was fun. Okay, now it's too slow. I mean, she's walking. So I think it's like the we could look not that. The animation has a ratio to meters per second, and I don't remember what it is. It's about that. So I guessed correctly. That's oh man. I think this is cool. So let's path to here. It's a complicated path, right? No. Okay, let's have her walk that path. Shoop, 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 shoop. She's walking around. That's cool. All right. So let's path to here and see which way she takes. Step. Yeah, she's gonna go take this way. Walk the path. Walk path. Hey, that looks way better than it should. Okay, so now let's do a complicated one where we send her up here and see if she can walk through the hallways now. Oops. I think that put it below the ground, didn't it? Yep. So we will path to, let's try again. Okay, let's see what path she takes to that. Step, 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 step. Is she gonna walk down the narrow paths? She should, I think. It's looking like it. Which one's gonna win? Yeah, the whole thing's slowing down visualization wise. Okay, we should be getting close. Oh, it takes it a lot longer to calculate the Or was stuck. Hey! Okay, so it did find a way. Not the way I wanted, but that's okay. She'll go through here, which is a narrow passageway. It's just not as narrow. So I'm curious to see how she does. So let's walk the path. So she smart, like she doesn't do that stupid thing where she loops back to the beginning of the path though. So yep, she's walking around and she ends up here. Okay. So now we ought to be able to, I know when I move the whole screen like that it makes YouTube go all marshmallow, I apologize. So let's make her walk down that narrow path. Step, 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 step. Okay. Yeah, so thanks, Romcram. Let's make her walk again. So she's going to walk down that path. And then she's going to... Oh, she can't get down there. She may find her way anyway. So this is the thing about the adaptive path. If she does figure out a better way... Look. Like... that's not the way it's supposed to work. Because she's really trying to go back to that path. She'll figure out her way, though. So it turned out to be a really good demo of what the adaptive pathing can do, though not in the way I had intended. But you see she found her way around even though she couldn't make it through this gap. Now, there was just as much chance that this would have been a dead end and she couldn't have done it, and then she would have been truly, truly stuck. So it's not really the way we want it. And it's one of the downsides of this approach, but let's see if we can get her to path back there. And I wonder if she made it as a straight shot, if she would go through. So let's see. Walk path. Yep, she can make it through if she hits it straight. Hey, Lando, how's it going? And she made it. So this turns out to be a pretty good test because we kind of needed her to aggressively turn around. But the pathing, it's like if we reverse this path again, step, 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 steps. So if we reverse this path again, she's not gonna make it. She can't turn around. Oh, I know what we need to do. Comes back to the probe needs to be set based on her speed. Oh, she figured it out this time. Yeah. So I still think it looks really dumb. Like she looks stupid when she's doing that. So if we had her walk it again, she figures out how to get in there. But now she's going to get stuck again, right? She's going to go the wrong way. Partly because she can't turn in place. So I mean, like in that case, she figured it out, right? So I'm gonna make her go back, and then I'm gonna stop right there. Oh, it won't stop anymore. That's too bad. Okay, well I can reset it up anyway. But see, that's the dumb part. And it's because she needs to go like directly behind her. And so I think if we made it so that where we're calculating the steering, if where she wants to be is completely behind her, we just need to set her speed a lot slower. In fact, maybe we make it based on, well, let's just see if making it slower will fix the problem. And then we'll worry about whether it looks dumb. So we'll warp her back to here. Yeah, you're not happy. That's fine. You don't have to be happy. Path her back to here. Step, 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 step. Okay, now walk the path. Mythruna girl. Come on, you can do it. So I definitely need to adjust that probe into her body. Come on, turn. You can do it. Okay, I can't stop the walk. So let's warp you here, and then maybe you'll figure it out. There you go. So it's over there, which is behind her. So she's walking super slow, but she can't turn in the direction she needs to turn. And that's because this probe. So let's make the probe adaptive. That's one of the things that the current Mythruna really does poorly. So let's just let her. So the other cool thing is that I can just warp her to the end and she'll just finish the path. Okay, so let's fix the probe. Contact avoidance probe. So probe offset and radius. Where do I create the probe? And so I have the offset as 0.5 meters in front of her. But like, for example, if I set this to 0, I wonder if it's going to reset where it draws the probe. Yeah, so then the probe is like, oh, it left the old one. Neat. Oh yeah, so that's not any good. It's Can I clean path? Is it gonna? Nope, didn't clean that up. Yeah, so I don't check for an existing probe entity. Oh no, it's when we cleared the state. Okay, so we have this these cleanup entities, and so when I create her probe like this, I need to add the cleanup. So this way they get removed when I reset the script. And I'm going to go ahead and kill the application, start it over again. That way her probe will automatically clean itself as we're editing things. Not leave behind the doo-doo. Actually, that was every time we reloaded the script, she was getting a new probe. So she probably had like 4 or 5 spheres. Or 50. I don't know, however many times we restarted. Or reloaded the script. Okay, so here we are. So. Whoa. That's always funny. So yeah, the probe is sitting right on top of her. So that will affect how she steers in a regular arrive situation, right? If we try to get her to go here, she's going to get more stuck than she would because she doesn't have a probe. Every time I see you, Lando, it makes me want to rewatch that Solo movie. I haven't seen it in a while. Maybe I need to make an excuse to do that this weekend. It's a guilty pleasure. Yeah, so all my stuff moved around when I restarted. So let's warp her up here, reset up our... She should at least turn on a dime now. So we want to walk the... not walk the path. We want a path to here. Step, step, step. I need to reorder those actions. Okay, so to walk the path. Walk the path. Yeah, so she turns right to the path. That's fine. Yeah, okay, so she does this much smarter now, right? So let's walk that again. I want to see, because sometimes the randomness of it all. So walk again. So she kind of hesitates there, but she figures it out. Yeah, that's all right. I'm okay with that. So we need to figure out a good position for that probe and then adjust it as she walks. But the point is it fixes that problem. It creates its new problems, but it fixes that problem. So we have a probe. We need to be able to reset its offset. Probe is its own thing, but I can, because I'm in Groovy, I can access its offset directly. But the offset is used every time we reset the offset, and every frame we reset because we got to clear out. Okay, we'll be good. Yeah, so let's just make a just probe method that we will pass just in case driver and state. And we will do this. Oh, we don't need to create the entity. So adjust probe, and then we want a distance. Okay. So state.probe offset.z equals distance. And then we want to move it, the visual. And then we want to adjust the probe every frame. In real life, maybe we don't. What is speed? Speed never goes above 1. It looks, oh sure it does. Okay. So we want to adjust the probe, driver, state. Let's set probe distance so we can do math and stuff. Man, I am so hungry. My stomach's growling. Probe distance equals whatever's less the of actual speed or 1 times, so at maximum speed we'll go, at 1 meter per second or more we'll do half a meter, and then as we go slower we'll do slower. And we'll see what that does. Oopsie. 416. Ooh, hello. What's it complaining about? No such property, body. Sure, that's true. Okay, so we should still have a probe, and if I made her walk to here, the probe moves ahead. Yeah, look at that. So the probe automatically adjusts. So if we were to walk down here, yeah, she's going to get stuck. But as she slows down, right, her probe moves. It's actually a hindrance here. She figured it out. She just didn't look very smart doing it. She looked smarter the other day. Yeah. She should be able to arrive through here now, too, I think, if I put her here. Yeah, so she can walk down these paths just from a normal go here, self-navigate kind of situation. Okay, she can't actually reach the point, but, you know, whatever. So let's make you go here instead. There we go. Yeah, you can't turn around. Because as soon as you go slow enough, you're going to idle. She should be able to try. Okay, she's going to go around the long way. She's going to get stuck. Alright, alright, alright. Warp here. There you go. So, path to here. Step, 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 step. Okay, let's see how smart she looks. Or dumb. Walk path. She goes right down the hallway, no problem. She turns around. She gets stuck a little bit. Yeah. I prefer if she didn't. But it is what it is. Let me change how the probe distance is calculated. It's not really the size. So the idea is that the size, you have a point, right? The size is supposed to be the biggest space she can fit in, so that she doesn't get stuck. Because what'll happen is if it's smaller, it could end up wedging it into somewhere she can't turn out of, and she could never walk into it. So it's got to be at least her width, or it really will create places she can't get out of. And then they have to make it a lot smarter and detect oscillation. And the longer I can go without actually having to add real smarts to it is probably best. So let's say the probe distance is going to be this over 2. So we've increased. I'm going to multiply this by what I actually want the probe distance to be scaled into. But so this is like the scale of whatever we want the max probe distance to be. And so instead of making it like 0 to 1, we're going to make it a range over 0 to 2, where at 2 it's going to be 1. So if she's going 2 meters per second, the whole point is this will suck it in a little closer to her. So whatever we want the max probe distance to be 0.5, and this is the scale of that based on her speed. I don't know that making the probe stick closer to her is better or not, but let's see what she does. Yes, I don't know if she's going to make it, because she'll get stuck in here. This is not proper pathfinding, though, so. Yeah, so she's going to get stuck. That's fine. Warp here, and then you'll find your way down the tunnel. Yeah, you can't actually get there. You're back stuck where you were. That's funny. She might walk around the thing. Thing is, like, oh, we didn't fix arrive. That's only the path following. Yeah, so she's gonna come. Yeah, anyway. So we'll warp back over to here, and we'll arrive here. She can't turn around though. One thing we can do is fix the arrive like we fixed the follow path. Remember, we made it go slower when it's behind her. We could do a similar thing over here. There we go. We reset her anyway now, so. Alright, so warp you back over here. Oops. And then just see what the arrive will do if I go. Ooh, that's always funny. So what the arrive do? Can she fit down the thing? eventually. Will she eventually figure it out? So before, she would have ended up turning around, I think. Anyway, this is not the real path following. I missed the fact that Arrive on its own was working pretty good before we did the probe nonsense. Alright. Let's warp you here and see what happens. Okay. So, Arrive here. You should be able to make it there, yeah. Okay, so let's check her path following again. Ooh, not walk path. Path to here. Step, 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 step. Which way will she go? There. Okay. Walk path. I mean, it looks infinitely smarter than what she was doing. Now she gets stuck. So there may need to be some smarts in here to detect when she gets stuck like this. And this is where we get into the experimental portion of this this approach. Let me do something else. So it pulls that straight into her body, which means it doesn't do anything at all for her. Perhaps we need to always make sure it's at least a certain distance away. So instead of 0 to 0.5, we'll do like 0.1 to 0.5. So yeah, so she self-centered, so she's not facing into the wall. Let's see if what Arrive does is she tries to arrive down here. Okay, she's going to get stuck. Yeah, come on, you can do it. This is because we slowed her down when the thing is behind her. Otherwise, she would have walked through this already. But she's going slow. She's slowly getting to where she should be, and because it's behind her. So first of all, and this is what I suspected at the time, for the general case where we're not trying to follow a path, this is not a good equation because it should be based on how far behind us it is. So if it's not very far behind us, we'll leave our speed higher. And so maybe what we do is we subtract forward times 0.25. So if it's perfectly behind us, we add, because forward's already negative. And so if it's perfectly behind us, forward will be -1. So we'll take 0.25, times -1 plus -1 times 0.25, which will be 0. So let's try this again. Arrive here. Yeah, so she figures it out. Well, it never got behind her, so we didn't really do the same test. What happens if we put this back here? Oops. She figured it out. Okay, so Arrive is maybe looking a little better. Let's see. Yeah, that's funny. It collides with it. Okay, so she's going to go around the long way. She is going faster. She's going to get stuck in the hole. Oh, maybe not. Maybe she will figure it out. See, it's almost directly behind her, so she's going to go really slow. We could set up a minimum speed. So at that max 0.5. 0.05. So whatever that is, we'll never go slower than 0.05, 5% of our regular speed. So let's try to arrive back here again. Okay, she's gonna hit there. She's gonna... I know I'm messing around with not what we're playing with. It's just, it's unfortunate because the arrive on its own was working so well before. I almost want to see what she's doing with this. So this should be almost 0 speed, which is fair. I mean, we've told her to arrive someplace she can't actually get to in any normal sense. So let's make her arrive here. Come on. And then we'll warp you here. Okay. So let's play with the pathfinding again and see what other weird cases we end up in. So let's get her to pathfind all the way back to there. Only on the ground, actually. Okay, so step. Is she gonna go around the long way, or she'll go around this back way, right? Yeah, okay. So we can get a good view here. Alright. Walk path. So she walks. She's walking pretty quickly. Walks a lot faster than the current Mythruna things do. I mean, for normal path walking, she looks pretty good, right? I'd centered over here before. Let's walk that again. I think if I zoom in, we can see inside. Yeah, cool. Okay, so there, we'll walk path. I mean, that's pretty good. Not gonna lie, I get a lot of mileage out of just that. Huh. Alright, what does it look like to come back here? Up. Step, 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 step. Okay, she's gonna walk back that way. Walk path. Yeah. I mean, I'd prefer it maybe if she even tried a little bit more to go ahead, because she follows these paths really rigidly. So if we watch her, she still manages to follow. It could be that because we see the yellow paths, though. I'm trying to like mentally take them out of my picture. No, she walks pretty straight line from here to here. Yeah, I'm kind of happy with this. What I wish is that I could like set multiple waypoints, force her to go a certain way. Just for testing. It's not anything important. So where does this leave us? So one of the other things that I could have done is I wish I could like stop her partway on the path, but what I can do is warp her back to here. Okay, so we've got the target that she wants to go to, and we could potentially, like I said, make that move ahead in time even further. And we've got where she is. So we could have the whole idea of the spring, time-based spring, be its own thing, right? So we could keep track of, this is where she is on the path. That's her closest point to the path. This is her ideal target to stay on the path. And then we could have another pull that's further ahead, that is, or not necessarily further ahead, but that's just based on she started walking at X time, at X plus y times she should be here, x plus t, she should be here. And so we just keep advancing t, considering that she should continue to be there until it gets too far ahead, and then we sort of pull it back. And then instead of steering directly towards here, we could take that into consideration as well and sort of combine that with various steering inputs. There's a lot of things we can do with this approach. But this one seems to be working pretty good. It's not perfect, but it's looking pretty good. I almost want to remove the visuals. I feel like seeing the paths makes us maybe more critical in some ways and less critical in others. So I'm going to add some booleans. Show path progress equals false, and else if not show path progress. So that means the entity exists and we don't want to show path progress, so we're going to ed move entity. We're going to do a similar thing down here. So that'll make it stop showing the balls. Let's do just a quick path to show. Step. So it won't show the balls anymore. Now I want to stop showing the path as well. Where do we show the path? That is over here, I think. And we might already have a boolean for this. Yeah, draw path. Draw path 2, draw path 3. We don't, but we can make one. Let's put it up here. Boolean draw path equals false. Let's just make sure I don't already have draw path lines, because I already have a method called draw path. Okay, so we don't have anything called this yet. Okay. I don't think we use regular draw path anymore. And there's a draw path 2 and a draw path 3 now, so okay. I still want to show the probe, I think. So if we do path to here, step, okay, so now we've got a path. We don't know that we've got a path, but we've got one. I should probably put the indicator anyway. Walk the path. Doop, 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 doop. Okay, that didn't look too dumb. Let's make her go over here and see what would happen. Path to here. Step, step, step. Which way is she gonna get there? No, we don't know. We don't know which way she's gonna take because we can't see which path won. So let's just see. Walk the path. She's gonna. Okay, so she's going around this way. I mean, that's passable. Like I said, I could write a lot of... so the next thing would be to get her being able to walk up and down stairs again, right? And that's an animation, not an animation problem directly, but it is animation related. Like I can make her I can give her a path to go up the stairs. If we path to here, oops, path to here, and then step, 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 step. I almost want to turn back on the... Anyway. So she's going to get stuck as soon as... So once we calculate the path, it's got to go up the stairs first, right? It's doing everything it can to avoid going up the stairs. Okay, she's got a path now. We'll walk the path. She'll find her way over to the bottom of the stairs. She looks like a smart little NPC walking around. It goes around the thing, and she can't get up there. So what this needs to happen is the probe needs to detect that she's got a step there and have her step up onto the step. And so that's the part that's missing right now. You know, we've got like a half hour left. I might be able to get this working. But let's play with the paths a little more because, like, since I took that, yeah, I can't get her to stop walk. Can I clean the path? Will she? No. Let's warp her up here, and then she'll at least make it there. All right. So the funny thing is she should be able to path down. So if I path her to here, she should go down the steps. She figure out her way. She should be able to do that. Walk path. Oh, ha 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 ha. Gravity. Yeah, I don't think jump works anymore. Oh yeah. Oh well, yeah. See, so look at her gravity. Doink. Up, 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 up. She falls so slow. She was flying. Okay, I know why this happens. It's because she has the thing that makes her not keep sliding when she stops walking is that she has a desired velocity of 0, and whatever her actual velocity is more than that, she applies forces to slow herself down. Those forces don't take into consideration the y component, so she feels herself falling and she resists. She uses the force, so we need to basically zero out. And this is why originally none of the flying creatures could fly, because I zeroed out all the y level forces. And so making this work again with flying things is another trick on its own. But yeah, so I think we always come through here. And so here we would set force.y equals 0. We'll never through steering set the force. Okay, so let's try this again. We'll warp her up here. I could have just jumped. Jump, jump, jump. Yeah, okay, she falls quickly now. Okay, path to here. She should be able to, like, fall down the steps now at least. Let's figure out the path. Okay, walk there. Doop, doop, doop. Yeah, so she can walk downstairs. Because, see, walking downstairs doesn't require a... Though that was weird, the way she fell down here. Less weird that time. I guess because she was still kind of standing on... Thanks, Gadget Inc. Nice to see you. Yep, still smashing the code. Trying to make smarter NPCs. See? Don't know what that was exactly related to. So... Yeah, I'm not sure exactly why that happens. So let's again, now let's turn on the body debug and contact debug. Why not? So walk that path. She falls down the stairs just fine. For some reason, she doesn't fall right there. At least it seems not. Can I get through the wall enough to see what's going on here? Yeah, kind of, I can. Okay, let's walk the path again and see what's happening. I think that her resistance to move in any direction other than the one she wants to move lets her hang up on the stairs a little bit. You know what? Plenty of other video games have characters that do this stuff. And does she have a shadow? Yeah, she does. Okay, so then we can see kind of how far away she is from the ground. Alright. It's funny, sometimes you guys make comments like the C question mark, and I don't get them at the time because the chat is so delayed. And then if I find myself watching the video later, then suddenly I get it. And then I laugh about it. Okay, so she's doing pretty good at walking. Let's take her through a couple other things to see what it looks like. She can't go upstairs, so we can't test that until we fix the animation, which again we could do. Could work. We could start on. That is the next big thing. And this is working better than I had maybe expected it to by this point. So okay, so now we can walk that path. Okay, see how dumb she looks. Okay, she goes down the hallway pretty good. That narrow hallway. Yeah, now she did it. Okay, I want to be closer next time. Okay, so let's walk again. Okay, so she gets down the path. Yeah. I think even if she didn't have that vibrating red ball in front of her, it would look pretty good. Let's see what it looks like from this direction. So she's walking over here. We can see the red ball through the wall. See her head. So she comes down here. Oh, she was actually riding up the wall. That's a problem. Let's walk the path again. Oh, I can't. I could warp her to the end. She's fully stuck at this point. And I can't see what the path... I turned the path off. That should be a toggleable layer so that I don't have to... Okay, so warp her here so she can get to the end. Then walk the path again. I want to see her climb the wall. She didn't do it this time. But before we could see her head slowly popping up above the... Oh, maybe she was just walking... You know, she walked up that time. And she got stuck again. So warp you here so that you can finish out the walk. Why doesn't she ever do it while I'm watching? Try again. Mythruna girl. Oh, she is up in the air. So that's a friction, contact friction situation. She's pushing herself into the walls. The real Mythruna... Wow, we've got 8 concurrent viewers. That may be a record. The real Mythruna characters have stuff in the contact handling that sets the friction based on like their direction. Right, see, I've turned it off here. Yeah, so this means we can fully reach our target velocity with just regular calculated cycle. But however, if we ever really do want mobs to move at a different rate over some friction relay. So if we turn the friction down, I wonder if she'll stop climbing the walls. Alright, so we gotta warp her back here. We got a path to here. Yeah, so like it's... There we go. Step, 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 step. Figure your way out. Do pathfinding. There, come on, you can do it. There we go. Alright, walk the path. And let's see if she's going to climb the walls again. This could be why she wasn't falling down the stairs either. Are you on the ground? You look like you're on the ground. That drop shadow is really useful. Okay, let's try again because she's stuck. So warp to the end, walk path again. Okay, it looks like, yep, she went up a little bit, I think. Let's get a closer look. She's still stuck. Okay. She's still on the ground, still on the ground, still on the ground. Oh, nope, she walked up in the air. How are you walking up in the air? What if we made friction 0? Out on my Triumph tomorrow, so not here for as long as I want. Really good to see you. Still at it, Paul. Back soon. My missus always climbs the walls if I give her cause. Haha, nice. Well, thanks for joining. It's nice to see a new or familiar face. I don't know from Gadget Inc. whether you were a user before or not. But it's nice to see you, just the same. Okay, so we don't have a walk path anymore. Let's warp back here. Path to here. Oh, it went underground. Path to here. Okay, that's above the ground. Cool. Step, 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 step. One of these times she's going to pick the other way to go. Yep, she's going to do it right around there. So now she's going to go a different way. Okay. Let's try again. This time we will... Alright, let's try it. Okay. Walk path. Okay, she's staying on the ground. I think she stayed on the ground the whole time. Actually, we ought to be able to see her position. Didn't occur to me that I could just watch her position. As long as it never goes above 4.18. Okay, so she's definitely not falling. She's definitely not climbing the walls anymore. But I think that this means that when they're not trying to move, perhaps they're going to fling all over. So let's make the other... which one's which? Oh, I can jump and make them see. Okay, that's her over there. Okay, so you can walk the path again. And you should go right around. Ah, look at that. They went right around each other, and this one didn't go sliding around. They are sliding, but that's... they were doing that before sometimes, too. So that may be a just make sure she doesn't move kind of situation. Or if they're not walking... ha. So if we set this up so that it's adaptive, first of all, where am I looking? So first of all, let's let friction be what it's going to be, unless it's not something we're standing on. So we might be sliding off of it. And then we will set the friction based on the slope. So if as upness increases, we want friction to decrease, unless they can climb, right? Front or upness can never be more than 1. And we want it to be 0 at the threshold. So upness minus threshold over threshold. Upness minus threshold. Oh, upness is less than the threshold. Wait. Upness is 1 when it's pointing up. Yeah, so it's going to go down like this. The upness threshold is about 45 degrees. And so upness over upness threshold is the raw ratio. So basically when it's right at the up threshold, it'll be 1. And as it gets to 0, upness will be 0. So the upness threshold will be 0. And so whatever our normal friction would be for something we're sliding off of, we'll do 10% of that. Or that's our what our normal max friction would be on a 45-degree angle kind of thing. It's just up threshold. I can see the compiler error in the back. So let's see if we can keep her from climbing the walls again. Alright, so we'll delete you because I don't know where you are. And let's make a path to here. Step, 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 step. Okay, and we'll walk that path. Shoink. 4.181, 4.181, 4.181. Okay, it never went above. Alright, let's see about going down the stairs again. Warp her up here. Path to back down here where we were. Step, 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 step. She should go down the stairs. Go around the corner. There we go. Alright, walk the path. You should not have the same hitch this time. A little bit of a hitch. Hey, but that's much better than before. Let's move our center of orbit so it's more of where we want to see. Okay, now we can zoom in. Let's raise it up a little bit. There we go. Walk the path. Doop, doop. Drop, 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 drop. Yeah, that's much better. And yet still, if we had a mob in the way, it shouldn't get pushed around. So let's make sure it's, yes, that's still her. the jump looks really funny now because she detects movement, right, and she walks. So actually it's not too bad. There's no anticipation of the jump, but okay, so let's let her walk the path again, and I want to see what she does at this NPC. Yeah, she's definitely not hitting the walls as bad as she was. Okay, she bumps that. She bumps the other Mythruna girl, and other Mythruna girl doesn't go sliding around. So that friction is working. Yeah, much better. Okay, so actually this means that even though she can't walk upstairs, she kind of hesitated there. She can walk down them. We could have her walk all the way down these stairs. Let me delete this one. Warp her up here. So let's do a really complicated path. And before we do the really I kind of want to, I was going to say we could turn the path line back on. But I kind of want to see what she does. I want to see what it looks like without the lines. I think the lines distract us from watching the aesthetics, if you know what I mean. Okay, so let's let her go down. Oops, she'll never get there. Never get there either. I wish, yeah, okay. Alright, so let's step, steps. She's going to have to figure out her way down. Just got around the stairs there. Here. Okay, she figured it out. Let's see what she does. Walk the path. Walk the path, baby. I mean, considering she doesn't have any walk up and down steps animation, she's stuck. She got stuck. And I don't know why, actually. Why are you stuck, lady? Let's get you at least down to the end. We can watch a little closer this time. Okay, so walk the path. She falls down that way. Yeah, she takes a shortcut there. Oh, she made it this time. So that's going to be where I end up spending a lot of my time, is figuring out how to get them unstuck when they're stuck. And it could be, like I said before, we know what the path direction is, and so if she's really close to the path and facing in the exact wrong direction, I could just have her turn around. So there are lots of options there. I want to watch her do it again. Maybe we can get her stuck again. She takes shortcuts, and I think that's because the pathing has her take shortcuts. Yeah, so it figured out that that was a bigger, better drop than... She makes it this time again. So the other thing is, like, the way I was talking about the NPCs following paths before, she'd only get stuck if somebody was watching her, which is funny because that's the one time you really wouldn't want her to look like she's stuck. But at least when nobody's there, she'd still manage to make it through the whole path because it's a only theoretical path following at that point. Yeah, so the path following had her go down the side step there. Yeah. Well, also she's pathing ahead. She got stuck again. So I guess her, well, she figured it out. I wonder if it's... The projection ahead should be maybe based on her current speed. I have a good path here, but you know what I'm talking about. Like on the path, let's see, is it going to let me draw? You know, so we had these different waypoints, and you know, she's standing here, and so we projected that she should be, you know, some period point down here based on distance. It could be that that should be smaller when she's slower and farther ahead when she's going faster. That way it'll sort of self-adjust as it gets... It's kind of like the probe did. But it's pretty neat. She does pretty good. Because like when she's going down the stairs, she's going slower, and one of the reasons she cuts the corners on the stairs is because she's looking too far ahead down that path. We could also suck it in if she's not facing it. Okay, so to explain what I'm talking about, I think I'm going to re-enable the path drawing. Draw path lines, true. And over here, show path progress, also true. So let's warp her back up here because we got to make a new path. Path to down here. Step, 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 step. Okay, so she got her path. So she does kind of clip it down here. But as she walks this path, and I can warp her here and show you what I mean. So she's standing here. You know, it's telling her she should be somewhat ahead. Actually, this is not too bad. It's not as bad as I thought. Let's warp her a little closer to that edge. Right. Let's do it up here and I'll show you. So let's say she walked right to here. Yeah, actually it's not far enough ahead to do the thing that I thought it was doing. I can't really explain why she gets stuck sometimes. But we will see. Okay, so right here, right. If she had continued to walk straight down the steps, she'd have been fine. But she tried to turn too soon to here, and because this little divot, she ended up turning around backwards. And the same thing happened here, right? She got stuck in the divot because that didn't have her turn too soon. Yeah, I don't know. It's just going to be one of those things that's going to require a lot of messing around. She would make it better, like, if I had widened the sphere, but then she wouldn't be able to walk down halls anymore. Still, it's pretty good. Right? I mean, it's a jillion times better than the current NPCs can do, right? Alright, let's make... we're running up time now because I've wasted time doing this. I don't know what we're going to do next week. I guess we'll see. I mean, we could work on the stairs, although I guess maybe... I don't know if people are getting tired of watching pathfinding. But getting up the stairs is one thing that still is needed. Then, of course, there's, you know, packaging all this up into actual code that I can put in the Mythruna proper. Let's see which way. Is she going to take the wall, or is she going to go down the steps? See which way gets there first. Looks like it's going to be the wall version. Should be okay. Man, it's going slow now. Ooh. Step. 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 You better find something soon. Because you guys can't see, but frame rate is awful. Yeah, 1 frame a second. Okay. Figure it out here. It's a long path. Too much debugging information. Okay, she's almost there. Yay! Okay, so she's going to take a complicated path. Let's see. I think she's going to fall off this corner. You think so? I think she's going to fall off that corner. She doesn't have any smarts about not walking off edges. Maybe she will surprise me, but I believe when she cuts this corner, she's going to fall off. Oh, nope, she made it. Oh, she can't go up that one, so she is going to fall off here. Ah, but she figured it out, though. So, every now and then, she'll do something accidentally smart to make up for all the accidentally dumb stuff she does, right? Yeah, because she can't go, right? She doesn't know how to go up this step yet, so she got stuck on there and fell off, but then she figured out the rest of the way anyway, so that's fun. That's a lot of fun. Okay, so let's warp her over here and then have her path to here. Oops. Gotta fix that. Step, 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 step. Okay. Let's walk the path. Walk the path, baby. Alright. Yep, she looks pretty good. And she even cut that corner. Alright, this is pretty good. It could be that next week we just continue refinement. I'll see what I'm not sure what I'm going to be working on this weekend. And I have some stuff to do around the house. But depending on how much more tweaking I do this weekend, and maybe in my own time I'll get the step up animation working, or step up not animation, but animated movement, so that she steps up steps and can walk up hills. Although I don't have any ramps. I need to add ramps to my playground and see how she walks up ramps. Yeah, this actually over here, would be a decent place for a ramp, because then she's got to get over this thing, and yeah. Or I could put a ramp over here. No, she can't get anywhere from there. Anyway, the point is, okay. The point is, I'm not sure what we'll be doing next week. If you guys really like this and want me to continue doing, I think visually this is a lot of fun, and we get nice iterations out of it, so it makes decent content. If you agree, you know, comment on the video that you'd like me to continue doing this on here and work on other things in the background when I do my Mythruna development during the week. We can just continue developing this on video. I'm perfectly happy to keep doing that. I think it's been productive, and of course having these live streams every week sort of forces me to work on something at least, so that's always nice. But yeah, it's like I'm gonna play with this a lot this weekend, just goofing around with it. It's kind of fun. All right then. Any other questions before I sign off for the night? I'll give it like 4 minutes of just goofing around with the walk, in case anybody has any questions, comments, or concerns. Step, 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 step. Walk that path. Here she goes. There she goes. Yeah, so see, that path was all zigzaggy, and she walked it nice and smooth. Too cool. Neat, neat, neat. This is a lot of fun to play with, guys. I look forward to even smarter NPCs. So is she going to go around the... Yeah, she go this way. Yeah, it's back to the same way she came, basically. Guess that's not a surprise. Yeah, with 100 NPCs. Oh, you do bring up a good point. Okay, so one thing we can do before I sign off is have a couple of them walk some paths. So she's already got her path set up. Let's create another mob over here, right? And have them path to nearby, right? So we'll let them come up with a path. And so we can, I think we can only visualize one path at a time, but they can both walk the paths. So let's see. You walk your path, and you walk your path. Yeah, we can only visualize one at a time, but they can both walk their paths. So we got 2 of them walking paths now. And they both kind of cross each other there. That didn't look good. We can't really see it very well, but it did not look good at all. It's kind of a mess, and they actually can't get to where they want to go. We need to... First of all, I'd really like both paths to be visible. But second of all, we need to make the what's considered to be already there a little more lax. Let's add another one. Why not? We should be able to do several. So you can go up here. They're skyramming each other. Yeah, so see, if you guys start comparing my pathfinding to AAA games, I'm okay with that, really. So that's okay. Okay, so there's that one. So you want to path to here. Step, 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 step. Okay, which way are you going to take? All right, so now we ought to be able to say walk path, walk path, walk path. And they all kind of converge in the middle somewhere. We'll see how that goes. Okay, so actually they're following each other, so that's all right. Yep, so that worked out well. And these guys, yeah, they're doing their conversion. I think they worked much better. They worked it out better this time. Every now and then they'll get it right. Oh, I'm so glad you mentioned trying more NPCs. I wonder if I can get one to walk down this way. So let's put a new one right here and have them. Make sure it's this one. Oh, nope. So the that's the thing, is it's okay, that's this one over here. Okay. So you want to path to here. You're not gonna path to here. You're not gonna get caught up with anybody else, but that's all right. Step, 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 step. I wanted to make sure it went down this little zigzag. Okay, so everybody walk their paths. Walk path, walk path, walk path, walk path. Yeah, everybody's walking. We're getting 30 frames a second, but that's, I think, because the animations, not the walking itself, but it's also all groovy code, and we're constantly doing these path calculations, which is something that I can optimize. You know, actually, because calculating where they are on this path is not free. And, oh, thanks, Ron. But let me make another one that is starting in here. One more. Let's do one more. Okay, so you're back in that room. Which is that, you down here? Jump. No, good, because I can't hardly see that one. Okay, that's you. Okay, so you want to path to, you're going to go down here too, just like everybody else. Oh. That's interesting. They didn't make it all the way to their destination. Oh no, that is where I clicked. I was thinking that that was the destination. That's not. That's where the other NPC is. Okay. So, walk path, walk path, walk path, walk path, walk path. Everybody's walking. And you're, yeah. They're all kind of slowing down a little bit. Oh. Oh, it's all these log statements. Yeah, probably if I reduce the log statements, everybody would run faster too. But that's fun. Oh yeah, this is going to be a lot of fun to play with. I want to make a single command I can do to have them all, so I can place them all around the level, put a single target that they'll all walk to, because I think that would be cool. But yeah, I have so many ideas for things I want NPCs to be able to do once they can walk places. This will be a big enabling function here. Okay. Alright, I mean, I could play with this all night. It's kind of fun. So thanks for mentioning the 100 NPCs. I couldn't do 100 NPCs, but we've got, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. It's not bad. Yeah, so pretty cool. Alright. And thanks for joining me, guys. So look, we got 9 on right now, according to the YouTube thing. So those of you who joined late, I'm sorry you missed the beginning, but you can always go back and watch it. If you have any questions, please feel free to comment on the video. I try to answer everything because I don't get that many comments. And it also feeds the YouTube algorithm, so that works too. So yeah, we can, and I even like added like entrance and closing music now, so we have like the, oh yeah, I gotta turn this off. So yeah, thanks guys, thanks for joining. Like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you next time. Not sure exactly what, but we'll be doing something related to this next time. So that'll work.